Okay, so this is my Steam machine. It's not actually a Steam machine, but it's very, very, very close. This is an Adam Man from Minis Forum. It has a very similar GPU, an 7600M, but it's the MXT. So it is slightly more powerful than what a Steam machine will do, because the Steam machine will have a 7600M. This is an MXT, so a little bit of a bump, but we're not talking 10, 15%. We're talking like 20% or something like that. We're talking percentage, like we're getting some percentage better on this here. So this will give us a very good approximation of the Steam machine. This does have a much more powerful CPU, but in the games, especially on a TV, like a 4K TV or something where a lot of people are going to be playing, a lot of the games not going to make a difference. So that's that. It is running SteamOS. There's nothing weird you have to do. You just install SteamOS and it just works. So this is going to be very close to what a Steam machine is going to give us. The primary difference here is, the Steam machine is not out right now. This is launch day for this game. I don't know if it's technically out now. I bought it as like the early one, but it'll be out today at some point regardless. So there will be some driver changes over time. The actual game will get optimized over time, but it'll give us a good approximation. Maybe the Steam machine will drop next month. I don't know. Maybe it'll drop next week. We don't know. So we're at 4K because, yeah, it's supposed to be on a 4K TV. We do have a ton of scaling, but let's turn off scaling to start here. See what we can do here. We do have an 8 GB VRAM GPU. This game is very VRAM hungry, just so you know, extremely VRAM hungry. But I know it's going to work because I've tested it on like a 3070. A 3070 is weaker than this. I've tested it on a 4070, which should be kind of similar to this actually in raw performance. Now, the only weird thing that I've found so far is that it doesn't work. This performance overlay up here doesn't work in desktop mode. It only works in game mode for now. I don't know. That's the only thing I've noticed with installing SteamOS on my little fake Steam machine here. It's the only thing I've noticed here. So we're just going to start in desktop mode here. Desktop mode might have the tiniest bit lower performance. Right now it's running well. A little over 60 now. Let me see if this guy's going to come hit me again. Yep, every time. A little over 60. So you can get away with high as long as you use a little bit of scaling at 4K. The reason I'm doing so much 4K to start is because it's supposed to be on a 4K TV. That's fine. Let's turn it up. Now, Ultra, it will work for VRAM. It will start to become a little hard to run, though, just so you know, at 4K. But we won't be VRAM limited. We shouldn't be, at least. So we'll just leave that scaling on. We should be a little below 60 now, I would guess, on Ultra. I mean, it's not bad, right? Like, you're around 50. You can turn up the scaling, right? Just put the scaling up a little bit. Because that's native, and it's giving us around 50. Just cruising along. It's not bad. A little more scaling will do the trick. But, I mean, at 4K, personally, I'd probably just set it to, like, medium or high, and then just, play with a little bit of settings. But another thing you can do here is you can go with, like, a mixed bag. So you can come in here and you can go down to like medium, and you can turn up some stuff. So you can turn up the car reflection quality. You can throw on maybe even higher, to be honest. Put that up to extreme. Turn up the car to extreme, because I mean, you're going to be looking at the car all the time. So everything is on medium, but then a couple of the car stuff is on extreme, which is not going to hurt our performance, sorry. But yeah, and then the car is just going to look better. The reflections will look better. It'll just look a little bit more natural. And the performance is way up. Right? Yeah, the environment, I mean, it's nice it's turned up, but it's moving so fast. But the car is right in front of you. It's really not bad. I don't know why it keeps, no matter what system on it, it keeps saying it's network diagnostics. It keeps doing that, but it's like, I am connected to the internet. So, I mean, yeah, we're at 70-ish FPS or whatever. Not bad. And again, this might be slightly higher in gaming mode rather than desktop, but also if you're on a Steam, like a true Steam machine, you would be running it in game mode and you get these metrics, which would then potentially average that out slightly. Okay, so we'll come down now. We'll go down to 1440p, which is much more comfortable for the the Steam machine type of devices like this. It's going to be way more happy down here. So now we'll go 1440p high, and this will be just fine. And we can turn off scaling. It might have automatically turned it on. Yes, it did. I don't expect any problems at high 1440p. It should run very well. Yeah, see that? CPU is still like barely being used. So even with the weaker CPU on the Steam machine, it'll be fine. 85 FPS on high, native 1440p. So again, you hook this up to your television, like Valve is telling us that's what we're supposed to do. It's like a console replacement, and most televisions are 4K, right? Like, when was the last time you didn't have a 4K TV, right? 2004. Like, they just don't exist anymore. You can get a 4K TV for like $150. Anyways, so yeah, you're probably going to have a 4K TV. So hook it up to your TV and you're going to be running at 4K, generally speaking. But if you're using this in other scenarios, you might be using it at 1440p, or you could hook it up to your 4K TV and use, like what I'm doing here, just turn down the settings. So it's easier to run. But 1440p is now much more popular than 1080p, I think, or at least as a goal. 1080p might be more common. That's just based on limitations. But 1440p adoption is happening very fast. And it is much more popular than 4K, 1440p, for PC gaming. Maybe not for consoles, but for PC gaming it is. And the 7600 MXT is much more comfortable. The same as the Steam Machine, the 7600M is much, much, much more comfortable at 1440p. It's a 1080p like max type GPU or a 1440p like moderate settings. And in this case, I mean, we're at high with no scaling. Right? No scaling. You could turn up DLSS and get even better, but there's no point. So Ultra will also run fine. Now, here's the thing with this game. Pretty much regardless of what resolution you are at, the VRAM is determined by the setting. So, you put in the setting at Ultra, and then you go to 1200p up to 4K. There's not really any perceptible difference in VRAM usage. So, if you can't run the game at 1200p extreme on a 4K, that does not mean you can do it on 1200p. It's just this engine. The textures and the graphics preset determine VRAM, not the resolution, which I suppose is a good thing. So, I mean, putting it to 4K. So anyways, so this is Ultra now, 4K, and it's native. I can notice drops now. It's not bad, but there's a couple drops here and there, but generally speaking, it's pretty good. This is native though too, right? We can throw on some scaling. Let's do XeSS. It just looks way better. FSR kind of looks like garbage, to be honest. So we'll go with XeSS. XeSS just generally looks better. And the performance will be the same as FSR, basically. Yeah, FSR was like Vaseline. This does not look bad. In one of my previous videos, I showed XeSS versus FSR. I do not remember which video it was. There's a drop there down to 10, but it's still not bad. We're getting risky with the VRAM, but it's like you can see there, it says 8 gigabytes, right? So there might be some, it's not like crushing the VRAM, but it is getting close to pushing the VRAM a little too far. So you can come in here and you can do like a mixed bag. Like you could go high, right? Or you could go like this. You could go ultra, just turn down environment. That's the biggest one for VRAM. So ultra, but with environment turned down to high instead. This will bring the VRAM below 8, like hugely. See, we're down to 6.6. And the performance went way up. Now, FSR 4 will be coming eventually to the 7000 series. I don't know when. They said, it depends like which iteration they said. They said that in June, as soon as June, I think it was. Was it June? I can't remember now. 7000 series desktop GPUs are going to get it. So in theory, the mobiles will too. I don't know. In which case, this would get FSR 4. FSR 4 will look way better than FSR 3.1. Technically, it should look better than XeSS, generally speaking. XeSS looks very good and it actually gets a performance boost on Intel. AMD does not get that for performance boost, so you'd want to use FSR 4. And generally speaking, so what I'm saying, you're not going to get really potentially any really better raw performance on FSR 4, but you can use way more of it and it will look better. So you'll be fine. Anyways, this is running amazing, right? So you'll be fine. Let's come down and we'll turn it all the way down to 1080p. This thing will fly at 1080p. We are going to be offloading onto the CPU a little bit here, but it's not like a brutal CPU game. Now, remember, this game, it scales with settings, not with VRAM. Sorry, not with resolution. So high here, it should still be around the same VRAM. As you can see, 6.3 as 4K. Just so you know. But you can see we're within the VRAM. You could use a little bit of it, but we don't need. So there you go. 1080p, native, high. VRAM is not a problem, and we're getting like 120 FPS. So if you have a 120 hertz refresh screen or whatever, you could do this. You could technically do this on a 1080p, on a 4K screen too. You know, if you have a 120 hertz refresh especially, and get like super high refresh at 1080p. This is a 4K screen, clearly. And it doesn't look bad at 1080p because you get native scaling, native integer scaling. It looks just fine. 126 FPS. We can turn up the settings. That's ultra. That actually is working. Did I mess that up? Let's go to ultra again. And we'll turn on environmental textures to high. So ultra with environmental textures turned down to high. And no VRAM problems. So even on ultra, with just environment turned down, just by 1 too. I didn't turn down to medium or low, just to make sure we're not hitting that VRAM limit, and it's running really well. Right, almost basically 100 FPS gaming, and the lows, I'm not noticing bad lows. It's like that was a drop there to 43. I mean, it's not terrible. 43 is not terrible, but I am going to turn up car level of detail to extreme and car reflections up to extreme. So it's that mix again, and go like that. And the last thing is I'm going to throw on some scaling, but I'm going to use XeSS this time. So we'll go XeSS balanced. So this will be like, this should be pretty performant. I think like it should be a clean 60. Yeah, there you go. Around 60. Let's go into the city now though and see what we can get. It looks great and it feels great. I don't notice any input latency, any lag. The lows are 52. I think it'll go, yeah, it goes down to about 45 for the lows, which is nothing from a 60 split. The only place that I would potentially crash is sucking at the game or looking at the FPS, but I'm not noticing any like controller latency, input latency lag. Like this is running quite well. You can play like this, like 4K screen, no problem. So the Steam Machine, it'll be a slight bit slower than this, but I'm talking like in the percentages. So you can, and it'll be later, it'll be coming out later. So you may get better, you will get better game optimizations, better drivers and stuff like that. So it could actually run better than this in theory. It's not going to beat this machine overall, but it will be close. So that's basically that. That's my, I wouldn't call it like a discount Steam Machine because technically it's a little bit faster than Steam Machine, but it'll be within the same ballpark. So if you are curious how this game is going to run on a Steam Machine, this is SteamOS. It's very similar in terms of GPU. CPU is more powerful, but it's not going to make a big difference, not in this game. And yeah, that's basically what you're going to get. Could run, a couple percentage slower based on ever so slightly weaker hardware. But in theory, it might actually run better because the Steam Machine is going to be a little bit later. This game just came out today. Or it comes out today, I'm not sure at what point it comes out, and there will be more optimizations for SteamOS, there'll be more optimizations for the drivers and more optimizations in the game itself, so it could actually technically run better. This is kind of a worst case. This is like the worst you're going to get on a Steam Machine in this game. So there you go.